This is what we've turned pro-choice into. That's why I played that video. Because there is an intent behind the production of this video and record. The intent is all I got to do is fuck to be taken care of. So there is a type of laziness in a sector of black women that will use their vagina to generate income by producing a child. But what they don't realize is they're not producing just a child, they're producing a family, but they don't have any family skills. So they've turned pro-choice into pro-manipulation, into pro-situation. Oh, I'm going to get some money, whether it's from your ass through the child support system, or I'm going to get it through, you know, EBT, you know, general relief, whatever it is. What do they call it nowadays? WIC?
General assistance?
Welfare, whatever. They go, so there's a portion of our sisters that are lazy as fuck, but not to the point of using their pussies to make them money. They are now prostitutes at having children. It's a different type of prostitution. It's prostituting motherhood. Somebody call us 323-965-1600. So the angle that I'm trying to come at here is about this civil war amongst blacks that needs to fucking happen. Somewhere in the middle, the far extreme is your boule elite, we better than all you niggas. How you gonna be a motherfucking puppy, a pet to the white man, and still think you better than other black people? That's one. Those niggas need to go. And then the other far extreme, all you gotta do is fuck to get a welfare check. The two extremes got to get killed the fuck off, in my opinion. 323-965-1600. Joining the show, Bobby Glanton Smith, a very wise brother, man. Like I always call him my uncle. I call him a southern sophisticant, very intelligent brother, man. Y'all have no idea how deep this brother is and how well connected this brother is, and how dedicated he is to rebuilding the community for, you know, a higher functioning experience for these young kids that are coming up. Bobby, do you know someone, and this is for the panel, everybody on the show, Veronica, do you know someone who is newly pregnant in a low-functioning relationship but has opted to keep the child because they've already had multiple abortions? Is that a good idea to do? You're already in a low-functioning relationship, but should you bring a child into that environment? Bobby, speak on it, please.
Because radio works the way it do, you're going to give me a moment to recover from that video, because I have never seen anything quite like that. I'm not that shocked, okay, but to actually have a visual, I'm struggling with words, and y'all know I'm the wordsmith.
Yes,
man.
he is.
It really messed me up to see that, because the sister said, all you got to do is fuck to get the big bucks. The big bucks part bothered me more than the fucking part, because, you know, people do that. But to think that an EBT check is big bucks,
Right,
is like scary to me. It's real scary, because the bar has been set so low that we headed straight off the cliff with that mentality. And in fairness to that young lady, as a father that produced her somewhere, to need his ass whooped too. Because at some point we got to balance this whole conversation out, and as a man who didn't always do right by women myself, I can only apologize for past mistakes and try to, you know, live in a corrective way from here on out. But this is madness, man. It's utter madness. I don't know anybody, to answer your question. I don't know anybody personally, because I'm 2 generations away from that particular crowd, and I ain't trying to chase my youth like that, because we ain't gonna get past the music. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know anybody in that particular situation, but heaven help us all if we don't do something about it.
Wow. Whitney spoke about knowing some folks in that situation.
A friend of mine, she actually, back when we were in college, she was one of my friends who I spoke with who had an abortion. She actually was pregnant with twins. And she went through had the abortion, said it was the hardest thing she's ever done. She's never going to do it again. She's never going to do it again. She recently just gave birth to a daughter. The dude didn't want nothing to do with her, doesn't want to kick it with her, don't want the baby, wants absolutely nothing, don't have this baby, you better not have this baby, like threatening her, like all kinds of craziness. She says, cool, bye Felicia, get out of my face. She has a baby, it's the best thing that she's ever happened, and her life is improved. She has a job, she's doing it on her own, she's not winning. I'm sure the EBT chicks are eating better than she is, but she's taking care of her daughter, and her daughter is taken care of. Best thing that she said she's ever done, and she's straight up said she's only having one.
That's a cute little filibuster.
There it is. I'm just saying. So there can be the light at the end of the tunnel. When she did have the first abortion, though, me being one of those, like, you're in the middle of college, you should not have any kids, I'm that person.
The voice of reason.
I told her I thought she should. Like, that's one of my, I kind of have, like, a little bit of rules, I guess. If I ever slip up, and there's 2 of them in there, man, I'm just going to have to get 3 more jobs and take care of myself.
So there is some responsibility to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, how many times have you heard, it's your fault I'm pregnant? And I'm talking about as a man.
Yeah, you guys.
You did this. I done heard it.
This is your fault.
I done heard it. You did this.
Dang.
My whole point is, does pro-choice only apply to the pregnant woman?
That's how I look at it.
Because pro-choice doesn't seem to have anything to do with the man based off of her decisions. I'm just asking. Because pregnancy is family building.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
It ain't just her. It's her body, but it ain't just her. But for me, it seems like pregnancy and the concept of pro-choice has nothing to do with the man, the inseminator.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, anybody got any questions? 323-965-1600.
Well,
Margot.
As far as a man goes, I do believe that men should have some part in it, and it just depends on, but some men aren't really a part of the woman's life like that to even be a part of it.
So why is she fucking and getting pregnant by him?
Exactly. Why is she fucking him? And that's my whole thing, is we have to be careful who we allow into our spirit, because they're depositing something and they're connected to us.
How does a woman protect themselves from letting a man fuck them that isn't right for them?
They should not choose. They have to choose wisely. I mean, don't have
How
sex
does
with
a
man
woman
if he's not
choose
good for you.
wisely?
Choose wisely. How does the man treat you? Does he respect you? How does he speak to you? How does he consider you?
No, that's
does he
not going to work. That's not going to work. A woman's got to stop fucking fantasies.
No, it's not a fantasy.
That's what she got to do.
No, it's not a fantasy. It's about, women have to look at men realistically, not all in the days of what they.
The only way for a woman to look at a man realistically is to first see herself in her true light.
That's right.
Most women do not see themselves in their true light. They see men in an idealized space because they see themselves in one. And then they wind up fucking a concept.
Ooh.
And then they get let down. Veronica, save me from this.
We talked on a recent show about how impoverished the state of sexuality is in our community.
Yes, it is.
And part of that impoverishment is not understanding the real purpose and potentiality of sex. So it's the lack of intentionality and consciousness that with which we lay down and have sex with each other. We don't know that sex is for manifestation in its higher state. We don't intend conscious human beings into the world. I mean, and so again, people say sometimes, I speak in a way that's too lofty or too. No, if you can find the willpower and the presence of mind to sit down and lay with somebody, why can't you make that an intentional act? Why can't you make the creation of life an intentional act? Why can't, right? But they trained us out of our sacred knowledge of what the act is for. We're just confused, and we become, men use women as sperm receptacles and just to bust one off, and women using men as, it's so impoverished, and when you think about it, it's like I said before, it's the gift that God gave us to get everything born. All of the flowers and all of the birds and everything gets born in the universe of the act of sex. So it has a very sacred and defined purpose. But if we keep polluting it because we've been trained to, then of course we're going to give birth to the results that we're giving birth to. But this is the responsibility of our community to begin to corral this and manage this and get some awareness and consciousness about this.
Right.
This is our community that needs to do this.
Right. And this is a good point, Bobby.
Man, I'm still trying to get over that video, man.
Let it go, Bobby. Shit, just let it go.
Me too, Bobby. I'm traumatized as well.
The thing is, you talk about where do we fit in the pro-choice conversation, and the mere fact that we don't is a major problem, because at adolescence, women and men take different paths as far as they approach their sexuality and the consequences of it. And as we revisit the outcome of the new laws that basically say it's a woman's body and therefore it's her choice, we have to go back and look at that and say, look, if that's the case, then you have given up the right to push somebody to take care of a child.
Child support,
that you warehoused, even though that person contributed equally to the birth of that child in terms of the physical, biological.
The creation of them,
we got to do something about the approach to dealing fairly with that subject matter. And it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I was telling you earlier today, I was only going to come in later to take care of some other things I needed to take care of.
But as soon as I saw you, I was going to put your ass on the microphone, so you know that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't even listening. I said, he going to get there. I'm going to put him on the mic.
We had a very frank conversation about this, and I told Zoe, I said, well, if I was a woman, I'd probably be pretty loose, and if I was a good woman, I'd probably done had 8 or 9 kids too,
All right.
It's just how it go.
All
right? And the problem with that is I'd be in the same situation a woman would be in. So to step away from that and accept the fact that I'm not a woman, I'm never going to have a child, I have to look at it in terms of what's in the best interest first and foremost of the child.
Right.
And any woman that thinks she can raise a child by herself, even with government assistance, is giving up the essence of motherhood on one level, and she's compromising the ability of that child to be whole.
Right.
True.
And let's go even deeper into this concept. Veronica, Whitney, Margot, and Bobby and myself, I want us to tackle this, but we have another caller on the line. I want to get that caller in, but before I bring that caller in, I think men and women should ask this question, but I'm going to pose it to the women because it came from the chat room. Listen to this question very deeply. How many women how many people ask this question? Am I worthy of a good man? I think feminine ego plays a major part in the bullshit choices a lot of women make, and because you're not socialized to be responsible unless Iyanla comes to your house to fix your ratchet life,
Wow.
right? Let's just be honest. The system is set up to save you from yourself when the man that you thought you were dating, but you wasn't dating him, you were dating your expectations of him, when he let you down, the system is there to catch you. You don't have time to really self-reflect and say, I am worthy of what I got, or else I wouldn't have gotten it in the first place. How many fucking women do you know stand on that in any situation?
That's what I try to help women to get to.
You better help them, Margot, because shit, I don't know what your plan is.
Because you see, listen, a lot of women don't listen. I do a lot of writing. You can you can check out my articles at beautycomeforth.com. Go over there and check it. The relationship detox is great for people who are looking to kind of figure out what's going on with themselves.
Help us!
But we have to grow ourselves up. There's some things that we have to take time. Instead of dating and running all over the place and letting people in between your legs and sticking your dick and everything, it's time to get back to ourselves and build up our self-worth.
Most women
you have no self-worth if you're not working on yourself.
Let me just say, most women and men, but the nuances and the subtleties of it is different for men and women, but most women haven't outgrown the influence of their mother. Go ahead, Whitney.
Yo, so I was talking to this morning. I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and we have a friend who's always talking about, well, somebody else got to pay for it, and I'm going to find me a dude to do this. And it's always she wants somebody else to pick up everything she's got going or not going for her. So we finally stopped her and we're like, look, that sounds great. She's not Beyonce. She's not nothing like that. We stopped and finally asked her, what are you bringing to the table? Why should this man do all
I'm
of
bringing
these?
my pussy.
But I'm like,
Ta-da!
is that okay?
I got
That's
the
good
pussy.
enough? But I'm like,
But your pussy ain't the golden child.
that's what I'm saying.
It
like,
might be. I don't know. No.
So that just frustrates me. It frustrates me because I work hard for everything I have, and like I said, I'm working to build myself before I try to find. I'm not even going to
That's
find
right.
him.
If you're not
He's going to
dealing,
magnetize to me. I'm waiting to finish.
Here's your worth.
Listen,
Building your worth.
if you're not
I'm doing
dealing
that
with
on my own.
if you're not dealing with a balanced person, and balance for any human being, male or female, is difficult to achieve. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
It's difficult to find a balanced person. The only way to find a balanced person is to first balance yourself, then you magnetize more balanced people into your life.
Mm-hmm.
When motherfuckers say surround yourself with good people and surround yourself with people that are doing for themselves, well, if you ain't doing for yourself, how then can you even resonate with a person that is?
Yes.
That's right.
You get what you are in every situation.
That's right.
And
Amen.
until you fucking own that in your life, you're going to have strife. You're going to have difficulties. You're going to have setbacks, because setbacks is really curriculum for your punk ass to get better. But most people are too busy avoiding the setback because they don't want to face themselves.
That's right.
That's the reality of it. Veronica?
Take time alone.
To what you said about I want to speak to what you said about, do women, are they a reaction to their mother? Because I know that in my case I was. In other words, my mother and I disagreed back 25 years ago when I was a young knucklehead. We were in kind of disagreement. My stepmother that raised me, my adopted mother. And I went out and married and had children with the man that she hated the most. And I did it out of rebellion. And it was a dysfunctional relationship. But it was my way of responding and a way of trying to claim power back, because I thought, right? And it ended up being, I ended up raising the kids fundamentally alone. And it grows you up if you're going to do it correctly. The way that you have to grow and evoke your own transformation, your own spiritual change is really profound. But sometimes we do it as a reaction to what we've been given in the household, and then we make the wrong choices. I know I did, and it cost me tremendously.
Wow. Bobby?